Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Night of Champions results. And two reports about it. One from a live attendee in the arena. Andy Long attended Night of Champions in Detroit, passed along the following report from Michigan. Got to my seat, it was at least 10 seats to the right of the hard camera. Crowd slowly trickled in, but once the main show started, it was mainly full, not a sellout. Upper deck behind the hard camera was tarped off. Don't remember it being tarped off at Payback, so maybe there was less of a gate this time. Tag team turmoil, a good opener to get the crowd hot, but two botched moves, one with the tons of funk, the other with the Usos, led to some groans. Glad it was on YouTube. I think primetime players were a good fit to win. I myself watched it on WWE.com itself, as they got a lot of pops from the crowd. The pay-per-view felt like a glorified Raw. I imagined once Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel came out, Triple H would make another match. Axel was very green on the mic. Kofi Kingston versus Curtis Axel. From the fan that was in attendance. Slow, methodical match that you could have seen on Raw. Divas four-way. I do love when they have these matches early in pay-per-views, as they can just get them out of the way. Not really much to say here. Here's hoping they're developing female wrestlers that are pretty at the WWE Performance Center. And AJ Lee and Natalya have the most skills, which I think tried to cover for Brie Bella and Adrian in experience. RVD versus Alberto Del Rio match. You can tell they didn't go crazy, as I think. They just going to be running this as a continued storyline. The standard RVD spots are always nice to see, along with the coast-to-coast chair shot that you hardly ever see anymore. The medical staff did attend to Del Rio, but I saw no X sign from the ref. Maybe just a little precaution. Scared to think where Sandow fits into all this. CM Punk versus Paul Heyman and Curtis Axel. It was a great pop for Punk. As always, the match was good. Once Axel lost, it was great to see Punk get a little revenge, but you knew somebody was going to come in. A new Heyman guy, same old story. Ryback delivered a good spear and the cut wasn't as bad as Bob Holly's, so that's nice. Side note, it was nice to see CM Punk throw out one of the ceremonial first pictures at the commercial park for the Tigers versus Royals game, even though he is a Cubs fan. He did the double of Tigers and WWE in the same day. It was fun. Miz versus Fandango. I like watching paint dry. Leave it on Raw. Sorry for the bad pun. Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler. Two people who were not used enough and not given enough time. Ziggler was the best bump taker, and Ambrose, the guy who could be the next great heel, I think. I like the match. Watching two of the people who make matches enjoyable to watch on TV these days, but keep the heat on the Shield and keep the belt. Primetime players versus the Shield. This was actually, believe it or not, a great match too. I don't know if people saw it on TV, but Titus O'Neil had some great power spots that got some big pops from the crowd. Maybe think we could be a great singles guy down the road, but a little more experience would go a long way too. Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan match, pretty good match. When I looked at my watch and said 10 minutes 30 seconds, it was like I don't think they have enough time to have a good match, but from the start it flowed. Bryan is always fun to watch with the suicide dive. The ref bump occurred, but that I think everyone expected after Triple H made it. No interference. The new ref came down and came down to the ring very quickly, so no interference. which I thought was great, but the ending was good for Bryan, who was way over with the WWE Universe and everybody else. I thought they just continued the storyline. Yeah, it was a quick count, but Bryan and Orton did put on a good match. In closing, a predictable, use no blood, but go a quick bit beyond the PG product to make Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-views more interesting to watch. They need more shock and all moments, and that particular night was rough. Don't have a match of the night because, like everybody else, I called it a glorified Raw. WWE is in lull at the moment. And now for the actual Night of Champions, live on pay-per-view, of course, from Detroit, Michigan, at the Joe Louis Arena, pre-show. Fans were entering the arena as Josh Masters introduced the pre-show on the panel with Booker T, Alex Riley, and the returning Santino Marella. The announcers previewed the tag tournament match as Riley predicted a title change. Santino told the world that the Usos are twin brothers. Funny. Renee Young checked in from the social media room and hyped a poll for the favorite tag team champions. Backstage segment with Paul Heyman was seated on a crate. Looking concerned when Brad Maddox walked into the picture and asked if everything was okay. Heyman expressed his concern and blamed Maddox for putting a middle-aged father of two in the ring against Punk. Heyman threatened to get himself disqualified and have Punk sued for felonious assault if he touched him after the bell. Maddox responded by making it a no DQ match. Okay, so Heyman could get himself intentionally counted out. But you have to like the way that they've stacked the deck against Heyman to convince viewers that Punk will get his hands on him. It's become a real selling point of this pay-per-view. The announcers discussed the World Heavyweight Championship match and the role Ricardo Rodriguez can plan in helping the Raw Van Dam because he knows Alberto Del Rio so well. Yeah, really. Match number 1 of the pre-show, Primetime Players versus the Usos versus Real Americans, with Zeb Coulter versus the Tons of Funk versus Heath Slater and Drew McIntyre, with Jinder Mahal, the 3MB, in a tag team turmoil match for a shot at the WWE Tag Team Championship in the pay-per-view. Cameron and Naomi did not accompany the players to ringside. McIntyre flipped over the top rope and onto Tensai ringside. McIntyre landed awkwardly and was slow to get up, but he eventually did and seemed fine. Tensai rolled up McIntyre for a short time later for the pinfall and elimination. Tons of Funk was eliminated in a minute 35 seconds. Real Americans were out next to put the boots to Tensai. Oh, okay. Tons of Funk eliminated 3MB in a minute 45. Real Americans came down and as they go to a commercial during the pay-per-view. Clay now has dinosaur spikes on the back of his gear. Jack Swagger forced Brodus Clay to tap into the ankle lock. Real Americans eliminated Tons of Funk in 5 minutes 45 seconds. Uso brothers were out next to face the Real Americans as Swagger caught one of the Usos coming off the top rope and applied the ankle lock for another submission win. Real Americans eliminated Usos in 9 minutes 20 seconds. The Primetime Players were the final entrants. Swagger catches Darren Young in the ankle lock quickly, but Young rolled out of it and flipped Swagger into the corner. Swagger's momentum caused them to bounce out of the corner and into Young, who performed his finisher and got the win for his team. And the whole match took 11 minutes 10 seconds. Good rapid-fire tag team turmoil match. The Royal Americans came out of it looking better than anyone. I was surprised to see Swagger get so much love. The panel discussed the Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan main event. As Santino picked Orton to win, Booker picked Bryan, and Riley selected Orton. Matthews throws out the pre-show. And we get the Night of Champions pay-per-view coverage results. The show opened with a video package that featured cool black and white photos of past champions, while the narrator spoke about what it means to be a champion. Every year it seems like I have to point out that it's a shame that they don't try to create this vibe for the pay-per-views before it actually begins. They do a good job with it, with the theme once the show starts, but not so much during the build to the pay-per-view. Pyro goes off, on the stage, and then Michael Cole checks in on commentary with Jerry the King Lawler and JBL. Coleslaw said it was a night to celebrate those who are the best. Justin Roberts introduced WWE CEO Triple H, who received some boos and maybe some groans too. Hunter didn't get the nuclear heat that he should have, considered how much he's been spotlighted on television lately. Triple H gave the fans the "Are you ready?" line. Paul Heyman interrupted him and walked to the ring with Curtis Axel. He said he's been trying to reach Hunter all week. Heyman said he didn't want to do this in public, but he has a serious problem with what Hunter feels is best for business. Hunter told Heyman that he looks terrible and questioned when the last time he had a shower or even slept. Heyman got worked up, but quickly calmed down and apologized for raising his voice to a man in your position. Heyman continued to kiss Hunter's ass before saying he feels he made one serious error in judgment by putting him in the ring with Punk. Fans chanted Punk's name. Heyman said Punk doesn't want to wrestle him. He wants to hurt him to the point that he will never see him in WWE again. Heyman begged Hunter to cancel the handicap elimination match. Hunter said Heyman made some good points, and then asked him if it has anything to do with the fact that the match was made a no DQ match. Yes, as Heyman replied. Hilarious. Hunter said Heyman has no reason to be afraid because he doesn't have to tag in if he doesn't want to. He said that if Heyman believes in Curtis Axel, then there shouldn't be a problem. You do believe in Curtis Axel, don't you? Heyman never had to answer. Hunter said that this match is staying. Is there no more honor against these? Heyman asked. Axel takes the mic and asks Hunter if he thinks it's funny. What's wrong with you? Axel asked. He said he became a Paul Heyman guy on May 20th and beat Hunter in a match that night on Raw. Wow, you actually even remember the date, Hunter replied. Hunter then told Axel not to poke the bear. He recalled that it's Night of Champions and all championships are supposed to be defended. Hunter said Axel is going to defend the Intercontinental title against the first person he faces when he walks backstage. He told Axel not to go anywhere because the match was up next. As Hunter headed backstage, Heyman stated that the match would be fought under protest. Heyman questioned Axel off mic regarding what he said to Hunter. So we get Curtis Axel with Paul Heyman versus Kofi Kingston for the Intercontinental title. As Axel throws a good drop kick at Kingston, who came back with a short time later with a dive off the top rope onto Axel on the floor. As Axel cut off Kofi's offensive run by tripping him up on the top rope, Kingston goes on offensive flurry as they top at the 10-minute mark. He went for the Trouble in Paradise kick, but Axel ducked and threw a series of shoulder blocks into Kingston. Kingston went for a springboard move, but Axel caught him on the way down with a good drop kick for a near fall. Heyman cringed, and the announcers noted that the longer that a match goes, the worse it is for Heyman. Kofi went for the SOS, but Axel shoved him away. Kofi goes for the Thunder in Paradise, but Axel avoided it. Kofi caught him with the SOS and covered him. The production team blew another one by missing it as Axel kicks out of what seemed like a good near fall at 13 minutes 30 seconds. Kofi ended up on Axel's shoulders. Axel dropped him on the top rope and finished him off with an apparent unnamed inverted neckbreaker finisher. Curtis Axel defeated Kofi Kingston to retain the Intercontinental title in 13 minutes 55 seconds. A good impromptu match that will keep everyone who wanted to see all the title match gimmick happy. I can't complain too much about them not advertising this one in advance because I don't think it would have sold very many extra pay-per-views, even though Kingston is popular with the kids. Chris Jericho wins a poll for the greatest Intercontinental Champion with 63% of the vote over Honky Tonk Man, Pat Patterson, Kurt Hennig, and Rick Rude. Backstage segment with Rob Van Dam speaking with Ricardo Rodriguez. And I'll post it. I do apologize. I don't have the remaining of the pay-per-view. as you already heard from the other ones. For Daniel Bryan won against Randy Orton, and my prediction was that he would lose on Raw or be stripped. So that match I didn't actually see on the pay-per-view myself, so I had to go to work. So I sort of work on time. So I missed the main event. I was posting the results on my Facebook page, and I had a few friends that was asking me if I was watching it or live in person. I told them, well, I ain't live, so I'm telling you on the results. And thanks for viewing. Peace out.